you all, but we'll just wait a couple of minutes. Natalie is going to be my, so this is Natalie. She is my daughter and she's my intern. So she's going to be keeping track of me today.
So basically I'm free labor.
Oh.
Am I not?
No. Not completely free. Anyway. All right. We'll wait a little bit. So we know Nicole's from Adelaide. Guest user there, Georgie, who's drinking her tea, coffee, whichever. Booze this time of the morning.
It's tea.
Tea. Okay. From Tasmania?
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
I was still lost on the tea.
That's right. I'm already zinging from coffee, so don't mind me. Yeah. Nicole?
Yes, I had to unmute. Yep, from Tassie in Hobart. 2 Nicoles. This is going to get fun.
Yeah. Who else we got? Hello. All I've got is IOR24.
Yeah, I couldn't work out how to change my username. It's Emily from Canberra.
Hello, Em. How are you?
Good.
I don't recognise you. I've only seen you once before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
And we have Lee. Lee is there, but no video. That's right. No problem. Hello. Oh, I got a message. Great. Hello. Where are you from? Right. Well, Natalie's saying tilt the camera down. Thank you for that. Better? Great. Thanks for that. Okay. We did a Skype call the other day. Was it a Skype call or I think it was a Skype call. And my head was like cut off from here on up or, here down. You couldn't see anything. Anyway. All right. Thanks for that now. USA. Woo! We have others other than Australians this morning. I was trying to find a time that could actually benefit a lot of people. And of course, the UK, it's so hard to try and find a time zone that fits them as well. So I'm going to have to do something for them later on. I think it worked out quite well for the US as well. And our Zoom is here. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Nice to
How are
see
you?
you. Good.
Tina's
Where are you from? You dog.
She says hello.
Great. Yeah, don't get Nicole started. Nicole Alley, that is. So, I'm going to talk about my new book today. Thank you. Yes. So this launch is kind of a, throwing it together at the last minute kind of thing. I had always planned on launching the paperback after the digital because there's a lot more stuff that you have to do when you're launching a paperback, a lot more extra processes. So I had planned on it, but I had given myself a month to do it, but I got so distracted by all the stuff that I had to do in marketing the book when it first came out in the digital platform that I forgot to actually schedule the launch. So it was kind of like oh crap, I need to get on that. So I apologize if I've annoyed the hell out of everybody this week with my posts about my launch. So thanks for bearing with me on that. So who I know most of you, I think, but who has read Camino Wandering? So raise your hand if you've read it. Yep, good. Okay. So this is actually the second book in that series, the Life Upended series. And I really kind of struggled with how I wanted to continue on with the next book. The lovelies were always going to be a part of it, and I wanted to somehow bring them into it. But I also had this idea, and I've had this idea for a while, that I wanted to write a book that involved letters, because as I was going through some boxes that we had shipped down to Tasmania, I found some old letters from my grandparents. And both my grandparents are now gone. But, oh, that's weird. Hello. Did you do that, Natalie? No? What happened? Okay, that's just weird. I didn't touch it. I swear to God. All right, hang on. I'm going to see if I can do
Okay,
something.
so that can be undone if everybody goes into their call view settings and changes it back to, grid mode or whatever. Just as long as it's not together mode.
I haven't done anything. Okay, hang on. Just bear with me for a moment. Together mode has been enabled. Grid view. All right, there we go. Oh, okay, that was weird. Wow, all right. Nothing like, changing it up a little. Okay, so yes, I had found these old letters from my grandparents, and so I wanted to somehow bring in something along the lines that involved letters somehow, but it had to have the lovelies in it, and I really wanted to write something that involved the area that I live. So this book, even though it is Camino related, it's not. It's actually set on the east coast of Tasmania, which is where I am. The place it's set is a fictional place, except for Orford, which is where Georgina's cafe is, and I have a funny story with that that I'll get to in a minute. But so I wanted to kind of bring all these elements together, and so it was going to be a challenge on how I did it, but somehow I managed to pull it off. And one of the things about Camino Wandering is, and with the Camino de Santiago, is that the journey doesn't stop once you get to Santiago. It kind of stays with you, and it continues through the rest of your life. And this is kind of the lovelies. You get to see what happens next with the lovelies, and what happens, how they kind of bring all of that wisdom, I guess, that they learn on the Camino, and bring it into the life with this next book. So Georgina's Cafe is one of the main settings of the book, and Georgina's Cafe is also set on an actual cafe, but of course you embellish, always have to embellish when you're writing fiction. And Georgina's Cafe was actually a cafe that sat vacant for a long time during COVID, and we would always drive past it, and I would think, oh, there's so many things that I would do with that place. I could put a bookstore in there, I could, and so my imagination started going. And when I created Georgina's Cafe, the cafe that sits there is called a Coastal Providore, or a Coastal Cafe in Providore, I think it is. And it's pretty stark compared to what Georgina's is. Georgina's has a huge fireplace in the middle. It has nice comfy couches, and you get a little bit more of Georgina's Cafe with this next book, with the decisions we make. And so Sam is one of the main characters. There are two main characters in this next book, Sam and Brooke. Sam works for Georgina, and Brooke is Sam's childhood friend, and she actually and the way that Sam got to be in this area was through Brooke, because Brooke's grandmother has a shack at Fergus Bay. and I say Fergus Bay, and I'm going to use quotes a lot, and I don't mean to do that. It's really freaking annoying. But Fergus Bay also kind of exists. The setting for the book does not. It's completely out of my imagination, and it's pulled from a lot of different places around the area. But the place Fergus Bay is actually Carrickfergus Bay, which was a bit of a mouthful when I was thinking about it. And when I was looking at Google Maps, I started, once I was writing the book, Fergus Bay just had a better ring to it. And there is a character in it, Lachlan, who is a secondary character. And when I was looking at the Google Maps, I actually found there's a Lachlan Island just off the coast of Fergus Bay, which was just a fluke. It was very strange. So yeah, a lot of things kind of came to be of how this kind of came. We kind of witnessed what the lovelies like post Camino. We have a bit more of an insight of how Georgina is in her life post Camino, and kind of how ingrained she is in the community as well. So this is the book, just to show you. This is actually first off the printer, I guess. So I've got more books coming, but this is the one that will be in the prize pack, which I'll be giving away in a little while. But the characters were kind of fun to write. I start out writing something nice and light, and it never ends up that way. I mean, has anybody read Beneath the Surface, which was my second book? Yeah, it's kind of a dark book, but for those of you who prefer the suspense writing over the women's fiction writing, I woke up yesterday morning with a great idea for a new suspense novel. So I was randomly typing all that out. So I will have that, in a couple of books away. But I'll talk about the two characters. So Sam is in particular pretty close to my heart. She's a 38-year-old widow raising a 17-year-old daughter. If anybody has dealt with an empty nest or is starting to think about what happens next when their kids leave home, it's a real kind of, angsty feeling, especially even once they get to 23 and you're still worrying about them. But I did kind of pull from my experience as a mother to write about Sam's relationship with her daughter, with B. Is that Natalie laughing? No. Yeah, so it was kind of an interesting way of writing it, but I did kind of pull out from that experience because I still worry about that. But Brooke's struggles are real as well. Brooke is also 38, but she is a doctor in Sydney, and she looks like she's got a life together. But she's also wondering what happened along the way. Has she made the right decisions? Because the contrast between Sam and Brooke is Sam's working a couple of jobs trying to make ends meet, whereas Brooke has is a doctor, owns her own medical practice, and everything looks pretty rosy, but she's starting to really question kind of how she got there and whether the goals that she had since she was early, whether they were actually smart. But there's an event that happens early on in the book that was actually inspired by my life on the East Coast here last year during COVID? No, it was after COVID. We had our highway shut down. We were given 3 days notice as residents, and normally to get into Hobart, which is where we go to get our supplies, it's about just over an hour and a half, or just under an hour and a half. So, and that's one way. But with the highway closed down, it was going to be a 7-hour round trip drive for us to get resupplies. And that's just milk, bread, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that was going to kind of put a spanner into the works. But the alternative way to get into town, of course, was to take the forest road. And the forest road on a good day is a corrugated 1-lane road. It's pretty damn slippery. And we had just bought a brand new car. Granted, it was a Subaru, but, you know, it was still a brand new car on a pretty hairy forest road. And so I kind of wrote that into the book of how, you know, Fergus Bay are cut off from Orford and just how they have to deal with that. So that was kind of, you know, a big part of writing that into the book as well. Let's see, what else about the characters? There are 2 character names that were actually auctioned off at a charity last year before. I should have looked it up. It was called Empower Alliance, and it was for a charity in San Francisco. And a friend of mine is on the board of directors there, and she reached out to me. She asked me if I would be willing to auction off 2 of my a character name for an upcoming book, and you know, of course, I'd be happy to do that. But what ended up happening was I gave her 2, and they raised $800 as a result of that, which was fantastic. I was really quite surprised. And the names that they gave me were Beverly for a 17-year-old and Zayden for the Sam's now dead husband. So they were secondary characters, but trying to write a story, and I had created these characters, but they didn't have names, and I couldn't quite connect them for a long time. And you know, we Aussies like to give a nickname to everybody, it seems. So I reached out to the 2 women who won the 2 auctions and asked them if they were open to nicknames, and they were totally fine with it, which was really handy. So we ended up with B for Beverly, and I actually kind of tweaked it because B was going to be B from there on. After I explained how she got her nickname, I actually wrote in that she was named after her great grandmother, and so Beverly was actually for 2 characters. So that actually worked out quite well. But yeah, I was really quite surprised. It was the end of last year. Thanks for that, Nat. And yeah, so it was really quite interesting writing characters without names for a while, and then once they did have names, it really just kind of put it all together. But B is a big part of this story, so yeah, I was really happy to have those 2 names. Let's see. So, yeah. Any questions? Any comments? Anything? No. All right, I'll keep going. I feel like a puppet. All right, so the books themselves, you know, this is my 3rd book now. Yep. I feel like I've written more because I'm already writing the 4th book now, which is the next one after The Decisions We Make. And so I've got the characters kind of already chatting and really chatting quite a lot to me at the moment. But to write these books, I couldn't do it without I have a group that I call the Lovelies myself, and they are my inside girls who, I say girls, that's really kind of nasty, isn't it? That's not good. They're not girls. They're women. Look at Natalie. Anyway, so the women that I have surrounding me, who are my lovelies, they keep me on track. They're my beta readers, my alpha readers, my editors, my grammar police, the ones who give me feedback on my covers and all that. So I really couldn't do it without my lovelies. So I just want to give a shout out to them. They're amazing people. And my husband will get really pissy for me for bringing him up, but because he likes to stay in the background. He's actually in the other end of the house at the moment. But he's my CFO and my editor, and he makes me coffee in the morning and leaves me alone to get the stories out of my head. So couldn't do it without him either. And of course, Nat, I couldn't do it without Nat. She's my, what's this word for what? And she's given me 2 really good resources for that. So I think I was asking her too many times at one point of, helping me with my brain freeze, but, whatever. I appreciate that, Nat. And of course, yes, she is my intern. So she has a linguistics degree and she wants to get into publishing. So she's getting to see what it's like on the back end of things with self-publishing. Plus, she's a writer, so she'll be doing this herself eventually. Right, so what's next? Like I said, I am writing the next book after the decisions we make. I'm already about 20,000 words in, and still plowing through that. I'm not like Georgina, who churns out the books. Somehow I don't know how she does it, but I also don't get up as early as she does. But so I'm writing the next book. It's going to be called Finding the Way, and it's going to be both the I don't even know what's called Sam and Brooke at this point. Sam and Brooke, Tassie, Twosome, whatever, but there's actually 3 characters in this book that I'm writing now, 3 main characters, and so there's kind of another lovelies that are walking the Camino. So it's first book, Camino Wandering, Decisions We Make, kind of has both of them, and then the third one kind of ties it all together. So and that one will be coming out probably early next year, May, June.
Are you sure that's the last one in the series? Do you have an inkling that it is actually the end and it's going to be full circle, or?
It will be the third one. It'll be the last one in the series, series. Yeah.
Your character.
Sorry.
Oh, I just know how I always laugh when you say your characters say, no, we're doing this now. We're going over here and we're going to do this now. And I can just imagine your characters holding you hostage and saying, book 4, please, book 5.
No, I think that book 3 will kind of, that'll be it. I mean, I love writing about the Camino. I mean, I am a self-professed Camino tragic, or that's what Rich calls me anyway. But, the Camino, you don't want to keep writing books about the Camino in the same setting. And, it does mean I need to go back and do another wander myself, but, I'm not ready to go anywhere yet. So I don't think so. I think this will be it for this series, because, I've got other books that are, the suspense that I churned out yesterday, I'm like, oh, I really want to get going on that one. But I cannot write 2 different. I was actually talking to another author on Thursday at a write-in, and she's writing a suspense and women's fiction at the same time, and I can't do it. It's just, when I wrote Beneath the Surface, it was in a completely different mindset, and I went dark for a while, and so I don't think that I can do the same thing. So I think that this will be it for Life Upended for the lovelies. Yeah. Let's see. What did I say? What did I miss that? Yes, I will talk about that at the end. I put some notes down so I didn't forget anything because I want to make sure that I do talk about stuff. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so with going back to the lovelies, I do have this inside group that I do work with, that works with me. They're all over the world. I actually have 3 or 4 in the US, one in England. I have a couple in Australia as well. But I am opening up this group a little bit more. So if anybody's interested in becoming one of my lovelies, let me know. Just send me an email. Send it to tara@taramarlow.com. Tara@taramarlow.author.com. Thank you. And let me know if you're interested. I mean, I'll ask you some questions, and I've had some people try to join, but they're kind of around for the free stuff. And there is free stuff. Oh, thank you, Nat. There is stuff there. If you're a beta reader or an alpha reader or an advanced reader, you do get the book for free in exchange for your help. But yeah, I am expanding it. So if you are genuinely interested, let me know. Feels like this little sales pitch. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about the book. But yeah, if it is available on Amazon, of course, Amazon have decided to release it early. But if you are looking for it in the local bookshop, and of course, please support local bookshops. That'd be really great. If you can't find it, just ask for them to order it in, because they can order it from my distribution service as well. But I have a drawing to give away, and I have 2 drawings. So I have a prize pack. Prize pack is a mixture of stuff that is related to the book. So there's coffee, of course, because there's always a caffeine addict in my books. There is a crocheted bee on a keychain that represents bee. There's chocolate. There's oh, thank you, Nat. There is chocolate. There is a couple of things that represent Tasmania. There's quite a few little nuggets in there, but of course it was only available to my Australian readers because postage is insane. So, but I have quite a few in the Australian basket. So we're going to do the Australians first, and then I'll pull out for the American one. Right. Lucy from Tasmania is the winner for the prize pack. So I don't think Lucy's here, but thank you. Congratulations. I will get that out to you as soon as I can. Be fantastic. Thanks for entering, and thanks for sharing. I think you actually shared it, if I remember correctly, quite a few times. So thanks for that. All right, and for the paperback for America, well, actually, it's not even America. It's got some UK in there, got some Canadians, Finland, Bulgaria, Peru. I've got people from all over for this one. So yeah, it's not a bit. A lot of Americans are in this. So who's on that one? Erica from the US. The first part of your email is EV. So I will email you and let you know and get your address, and I will send that out for the free paperback. So thanks for that. Fantastic. Cool. Does anybody have any questions? Comments? You can talk about anything. No? Come on.
I have
I have kind of a silly question.
Sure.
So Lachlan, I believe is pronounced Lachlan.
Lachlan.
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then how do you pronounce the short version?
Lockie.
Lockie. Okay.
Lockie.
I had to ask because I said Hermione instead of Hermione for like the first two.
No, it's
it's
Lockie.
Lockie.
So it's
Okay.
like Lockie.
Okay.
And I will also give you here's some Tasmania insight. I also talk about an island that is off the coast of Fergus Bay, and it looks like it's Maria Island. It's actually pronounced Mariah. So think of Mariah Carey. So yeah, it's Mariah Island, and I can see it from a window. It's quite a significant island around this part. So yeah, cool. Any other questions? Thanks, Trish. I can just see your forehead.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
That's all right. It's okay. I recognized your voice. So. Cool.
So
Anything
I don't
else?
know if I came in a little late, so I don't know if you've already answered this question, but if you did, just let me know.
It's all right.
Do you have going forward? Do you have sort of a plan for what's next, even after the third book?
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
Anything you can share?
Well, so I have this suspense idea that I'm going to, I think I'll probably do that next after. So I've got The Decisions We Make that's just released, Finding the Way, which is the third book. And then I will probably write another suspense, since I do actually have quite a few of my subscribers and followers came in because of Beneath the Surface. So I will probably write another suspense. But I also have another book that's outlined that is kind of a mystery. And I guess it could be a suspense. It's just not a dark suspense, which is fine. But I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up between the two. It depends on which characters are chatting with me at the time. I do sound like a whack job. I know I do. I know I sound like a weirdo when I say that my characters talk to me. But yeah, they do. They kind of just, sometimes they won't shut up. But yeah, but it's good. It's a good way to kind of let the story kind of figure its way out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Tara, I was going to say, how do you know when to trust your characters, and how do you know when to say, nah, we're not doing that?
That's a good question. So the characters talk to me a lot in my sleep and in the shower. And sometimes it's a kind of a niggle of, okay, it may go in this direction. Like, for example, for the third book that I am writing right now, I have a whole outline set out, and I actually created that a couple of months ago. And it was pretty clear how the story was going to go. And then in the shower the other morning, I had the lovelies chatting with me, and Pam's kind of going, come on, we're not done yet, we still want to be in it. So I think that the lovelies are going to have a more significant place than what I had planned for this third book. But sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't think that's really going to work. But if I let it if I mull it over for a little while and just kind of, I think Neil Gaiman has a good way of navigating this, and he plays the what if game. So it's, what if this happened? What would that mean? And what if that happened? What would that mean? And so after I listened to his masterclass a couple of months ago, I've started doing that with Pam nudging her way in. I started thinking, okay, what if that happened, or what if I didn't do that? What would that mean? And that's kind of helped guide it a little bit more. But most of the time, I just listen and think, okay, they really, this is kind of my subconscious, I guess, saying, okay, this is the way I need to take the book. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's helpful.
Is it?
And fun. It's fun.
Okay.
I just love the idea of you like being haunted by characters. It cracks me up.
Haunted is a good word for it.
In a good way.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, it gets to the point now where I really do feel like I have all these other people living with us. Like, I have this fun, I actually put, I think in the back of the decisions we make, or maybe it was in another book, but I put in the acknowledgements that when my husband proposed to me years ago, it was very romantic. It was very romantic. He was down on one knee. We were in Mexico. It was at sunset. And he asked me to marry him with his grandmother's ring. And I asked him, are you sure? It's a package deal, right? And I was talking about, Natalie and I, because, Natalie was 4 at the time, and, it was a package deal. I did not know at the time that it would be not only Natalie, but all these characters that are in my head, because, he has to live with them too. Not only, with me, but he has to hear about them. I mean, at the end of the day, I come out and go, oh, well, let me tell you what's happening in the book today. And he's just kind of like, oh, Jesus, really? Yes, Nat? You had
In case any of you are curious, it's in the back beneath the surface.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
Did the research.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and even wandering around Orford, I do kind of expect to see Pam and Georgina and Aubrey kind of coming out and saying, hi, how's it going? But of course, I really am a crackpot writer. But anyway. All righty. Any other questions, comments, things you hated that I need to change for later? No? Good. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I guess I will give you the rest of your day back. But thanks for coming. I so appreciate it. When I was throwing this together, I thought if it's more than just Natalie and I, it would be a good day. So I really appreciate you guys coming out and supporting this.
That's really nice. Natalie and I and Natalie's friends.
Well, I knew that Natalie had invited some of her friends, yes, but, still, there's one thing to invite people and there's another, people actually showing. So, yes, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I am quite happy to have the book out, and it's starting to get some traction now on Amazon and Goodreads. So, if you guys are wanting to, I'd love reviews once you've read the books. That would be great. But, no pressure. I'm not one to pressure, but it does make a difference. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming. And thank you for your message, Nicole. That was lovely. Cool. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great Saturday night or Sunday morning. And Natalie is telling me don't forget to mention where you can buy Decisions. I did say that. I already said that. You can buy it on Amazon. You can also buy it on if you do digital, you can buy it on Kobo, Apple, all the digital platforms. But yes, the paperback is available on Amazon, and go into your local indie bookshop and ask for them to order it in, because I'm all about supporting the indie bookshops. How's that? Did I miss anything, Nat?
Monday.
Yes, if you want an ebook, you can order it directly from her website.
Yes, yes, you can. Thank you. There is a shop. That's true. Oh, and one more thing. If you do want to hear more about how crackpot I really am, I do have a series of blog posts that I post every couple of days, and I'm a little bit behind, called Diary of an Author. So if you want to hear what it's like in the self-publishing world, sometimes I have a little ranty. Sometimes I actually share some really helpful information, but it's truly, me posting every couple of days of what life is like as an author and a self-published author as well. Because I truly believe that when you are a reader and you are looking at a book in a bookshop, you don't know whether an author is self-published or not. So, I don't know what the brouhaha is about traditional versus self-published, but I like being an indie. Pretty good. So cool. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your day or your night. So thank you. And I will see you all later. Okay, bye.
Congrats
Bye.
again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.